G'day, Michael here. This video is about basically a couple of updates. Well, it's a new product and an update on the extraction shrouds for the Blum minipress. Now, I've had a conversation with a guy from Blum, and he said that the machine design is essentially identical since 2005 to the current. There are two models, but this is like the general model. Now, the new product is a shroud for the 9 spindle assembly, and I've got a small update of the version 3 shroud that allows for the mini sticks. You've got that little block for the stoppers and so forth, and there's a small amount that needs to be a small amount of relief that's required here. And what I've got is also another breakaway area on the front of the shroud. Now, what that looks like in the real world is, you can see in the front there, you've got a bit of an odd shape, sort of a trapezoidal cutout. Lighting's very cool. Okay, so those parts can be broken out just with a pair of pliers, and it leaves you with this portion removed and that portion removed, both sides. That allows you to get over the mini sticks. This allows kind of an inrush of air when the machine's close down. It gives kind of a puff to throw the shavings into the extraction. On the multi-shroud assembly, I've got the same sort of inrush provided by these trapezoidal cutouts, and there's this plenum chamber with kind of a restricted airflow in the centre, so as to make sure there's a good exit path for the air from even the last spindle. So this actually works very clean. Now, when you're installing the shroud for the 9 spindle, you take off both those clear, like plastic, let's call them, they're like a shade almost. If you take all those things off, just retain 2 of the screws. This part here just simply goes on with 2 of those screws, so you don't need any odd screws. You just use what's supplied. Alright, now I've got photos of this part. Where are we now? That one. And you can see these photos, there's a lot of colour. It's a bit hard to, it's too much contrast, and it's very busy. That's why I've got the computer rendering here. It's a bit clearer to see. Where have we got that now? Anytime? No. That's the regular 9. That's the regular shroud. Now, what I had to do in testing on this machine, you can see this is the current design of collar. The collar mount for the previous shroud still fits in that same space, but if you do have the mini sticks, that's what they cutouts for. Now, here's the mount of those screws on the back of the 9 spindle assembly, and this clearance here is also for the mini sticks, so you can see all that, how that all works. Now let's go back to that guy. That's what these bits here are. Now, this area here is, they're just the parts required for the actual producing of these shrouds. They provide support for the unsupported area of the print. So if you're buying the design to 3D print for yourself, you don't actually have to add supports using your slicer. They're built into the design. The same goes for this component. So if you're buying the product printed by me, or whether you're buying the design from a website, that's up to you. But the supports are integrated in the design. You simply break them out with a pair of pliers. It's very simple. And if you don't have if you don't use the mini sticks, you don't need to break this portion out, so you'd leave that intact. Also, this works for the older machines as well, so that works just perfectly as is. Well, I guess that's it. I'll have a link to the website store for both the files and the obviously the printed product. So if you want me to produce the part, that's cool. That's kind of how I prefer it, because I can make it work better. But if you do want to download the file, the permission with the file is that you can produce parts for one machine with the file. If you want to buy, if you want to produce more parts, well, we can come to some arrangement. But yeah, that's what that is. It's like a kind of limited use license on, say, photos, the same kind of thing. All right. Well, I guess that's it. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, ask a question, leave a comment. Bye for now.